Now we're going to take the dog for a quick walk, and then I rebuilt the drive shaft on the Feiyue FY03h. I put a steel drive shaft in it, and the drive shaft wasn't assembled correctly from the factory. So we're going to rebuild the drive shaft in this video and kind of go from there. I'll do a little runtime on the car, and I think one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to do a full metal upgrade, see what all parts. I think I'm going to change the front drive shaft to steel and change the differentials out in this car. I think it's probably worth investing a little bit more money in. So that'll come in another video. For now, we're just going to rebuild the drive shaft. So it'll be a short video. Short by my standards. I'm not good at making things short, so do the best I can. I figured out where the issue was with the drive shaft on the Feiyue FY03h. The drive shaft is spinning inside itself. So I took it off the car. You don't need to take it off the car to do this repair, but I figured it would be easier to show everybody if I took it off the car. So it's off the car. And what you got here, this is the little piece that joins the drive shaft together. And when they installed it, you can see where the Allen screw was tightened up against this piece here. So it was like this, and there's the dimple, and there's where it was, and you can see the little grooves in there. And this is what happened is there's a set screw here. Well, there's a recess for that set screw to go in, but they didn't index it properly to the shaft. So this is just an assumption, because once it's loose, it's loose. And I'm going to tighten this one, zoom this back out because I keep going out of frame. I'm going to tighten this one piece up just so I can show you what I'm talking about. If whoever assembled this at the factory lined these two Allen set screws up and then tightened them up, that's not where the index mark is. You zoom back in so you can see. So that's not right. And what they did is they tightened it up against the round part of the shaft, and then with a little torque and bouncing around and grabbing traction, it started to spin. And once it started to spin, of course, I had no drive to the rear of the car. So that little dimple is where the set screw goes, and it's nowhere close to being indexed. So for the manufacturer, I doubt that they'll see this, but in the odd event that they do see this, if they could get with their manufacturing department and have them either index this piece to the flat, it's actually indexed on the peak. It could be either one, but this piece needs to match. This one's actually indexed on a flat, this one's indexed on a peak. So the closest match that you could get is right here, and that's obviously still not correct. So if they just index both pieces either to the flat or to the peak, then this probably wouldn't happen again. Now, my way that I'm going to deal with this right this minute is I'm actually going to put this piece in first. And as maybe it's obvious, those line up, and let me get back the set screw. No, it's okay. Once that's in there, it's indexed on the flat. Put the Allen wrench back in, give it a couple of turns, then you can verify. See, it won't spin now. So I know I'm in the right spot. It's on this flat, and if you wanted to, you could put a little magic mark on there or something so that you didn't lose your reference point. But once this is tightened up, this doesn't move at all, and And then I can put this piece back on. And this one doesn't have to be in the same place, but you can see how it would be easy to misalign this when you were putting it together with one piece indexed on the peak and one indexed on the flat. So that's it, and then I can put the thing back in the car and we can be back into operation. But that's all they did, and I'll put a little blue Loctite on it. But I don't know why they did what they did, if it was an oversight or if that's the way all of these are made. And these don't have to be lined up, it just makes it easier to assemble everything if it is. So that's it, that's the repair for this. And for those who haven't seen the metal drive shaft, this is it, and it's telescopic, this end is. And it doesn't matter what orientation this is, it's a hex. So it just goes in there, just allows the rear end to go up and down, and if it needs to change length, because as it gets closer to the center line, it's going to compress some. I probably rambled enough, so I'm going to put this thing back together, and this car will be back in operation again. Just in case there's somebody out here that wants to install one of these and they haven't ever done this before, this is the screw that holds everything in. It actually goes through the output shaft on the transmission, and it goes to the input on the differential. One side of it is beveled for this, it's recessed for this to go into, and then the other side is just threaded. So that's the only thing you need to be aware of when you put this on the car. And I drilled an access hole in the chassis. That's in another video. I drilled an access hole in the chassis so that it makes it easier to get this screw in. But just be sure that the dimpled side goes on the top, and when you put the screw in there, everything will be lined up just right. Alright, I've got the drive shaft back in there now, and we have four-wheel drive again. So that's it. Just be sure you put a little Loctite on everything, and anytime you've got metal into metal. But so you can see as this compresses, this piece needs to telescope. So this piece is locked in. Now these two pieces are locked back together with that little nub, and works quite well. In about a 30 mile an hour wind, 35 mile an hour wind in Wyoming today. And I just wanted to run this for just a minute. I don't know if you can see those beer cans over there, beer bottles. Don't know if that's in the frame or not. Those were here when I got here. So I just wanted to run the car for a minute, show that it does have rear wheel drive. That hasn't been through Wyoming, this is a pretty normal day for wind, and this time of year. There's a little lake over there. The only reason there's not white caps on it is because it's frozen. Well, you got to get one walk of shame in anyway. How about two? Thought I was going to get three. Yeah, I might be able to get a little jump out of that. I don't know. We'll see. If I can get over the beer bottle. That wasn't too bad. Well, that wasn't a very healthy kick. Try that again. That was better. There's number 3. This thing actually turns pretty good as long as you're not on the power. If you're on the power when you turn, unless it spins the wheel, it usually flips. So I think we're going to call it a day.